Well, I know this was originally going to be a leadership call, but we really wanted everybody to hear what we wanted to talk about on this call. So if you're on, it means you read your email or saw the announcement, and so we're grateful that you saw it because it was just last minute. So we just got back from an amazing leadership retreat in Kauai. And a lot of times after we do these sort of events, we like to like after the leaders and achievers, for example, we had the people that were there share a little bit about the event and how they got there and that kind of thing. But we figured it was pretty clear that it was an amazing trip. If you've been watching anybody's stories or watching Zaya stuff, it was an absolutely amazing trip. So we didn't feel like it would be very helpful to come on and talk about the trip per se, but instead we thought it might be more helpful for you guys to get to know some of the people who were on the trip and a little bit about what they were doing before Zaya fell into their lives and then what their life looks now with Zaya. Just because I think it's really helpful to see other people's stories. You might not relate to me or Monica, but maybe you can really see your story in one of the girls that's going to be talking tonight. So we just really wanted to highlight them, and if they want to say a little bit about the trip too and what was special to them about it, they are certainly welcome to do that. But does anybody want to go first? Oh, Charmaine.
She's eager.
And I'm going to pin the video, Charmaine, so they don't look at me the whole time.
Well, I only want to go first because we are under tornado warning.
Oh no!
So if I lose power or my kids have to come down for shelter, so
real commitment.
I know, yeah, it's getting real nasty out.
Okay,
so
you talk fast then.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Hi. I know a lot of you guys know who I am, but yeah, Katie just wanted to kind of talk about our story and kind of how we were able to get on the leadership trip. And yeah, Hawaii was, oh my God, amazing. I wish I was still there. So I joined in December of 2018. I joined when I just had one little boy. I just had Rhett, and I worked full time. I had an hour and a half commute. I honestly joined Katie. I watched Katie for 8 months. She asked me about it. I told her absolutely not. I'm not spending $65 on a pair of leggings because I'm a tight ass. So she's like, well, I'm going to send you a free one. And I'm like, okay. So she sent me a free one. And I think I was trying to remember. I don't know if I signed up that night, but I think I signed up the next day. So like as soon as I got them and I fell in love, and I just honestly, I joined for the discount, which a lot of people probably here did. And then I had a launch party and all of my family and friends loved it. And I remember I have an aunt who is the Zai rep now, and she wore Lululemon and stuff, and she was like, Charmaine, this is like really, really good. And I'm like, okay, if Gidget thinks this is good, this is good. So I just, I had my launch party, and then my first paycheck, I think, was like over $400. And I was so excited about that. And I told my husband, I remember telling Keith, all right, like I'm gonna do this. It was January 2019. I'm like, I want to do this. I want to give it a shot. I was a Beachbody coach for 5 years, and I think I hit Emerald. I don't know, but my biggest check with Beachbody was $500. So I'm like, okay, my first check was Zaya's 400. Like, this is the real deal. So I worked it for a year. And then you guys, that first year, my 1099 matched what I made at the hospital. So I still worked full time. I was wellness coordinator. I loved my job, but then I had Knox. So I had my second boy, and I told Keith, I told Katie, like, okay, my goal now is to bring me home. And I never, ever had that intention, but it was too good. And I was like, life is so short. And I'm like, if I can be home with my babies before they go to kindergarten or whatever, then I'm going to do it. And then my second 1099 came through, and it almost tripled. And then that's when I walked away from my full-time job in 2020 of October. And here we are. And now I'm able to do this full time. I still send my kids to daycare 2 days a week because I really just need that. And they need that for them too. But that's kind of my story. And I'm going to kind of tell like a couple of things that I think have really helped me get to where I am. The biggest thing is I worked my business full time, and I worked 8 to 10 almost every single night. And I did that because after the boys went to bed, and you guys, I still do that. So I am not a morning person. I know Katie and Monica, they like to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I think they're freaking nuts. That doesn't work for me. So I like to work 8 to 10, and that doesn't work for them. So my biggest advice is find what works for you. You don't have to get up early if you don't want to, because I've tried to get up early and I'm so grouchy about it, and I don't have a good mindset, and it's just not good for me. So after this call, I'm going to sit down here while we're under tornado warning and work, because I think the last 3.5 years, I've just triggered my brain. Like when it's 8 to 10 after the boys go to bed, like my brain knows, like, all right, you're on. And I just love that time. I love that time to work. So find what time of day you thrive on. Maybe that's in the morning, your lunch hour, afternoon, whatever. But stick to that plan, and just make it a habit to carve out 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever your time has, and stay consistent with that time of day, because it's a total mind shift game and you're just in it. So that's tip number one. Tip number two, go after every incentive. I remember the first year, that was when they gave away like Apple Watches and free Nikes and like all that fun stuff. And I was so excited to like get all of those things. And that is another, no matter if you think in your mind you can't do it, go after it, because those practices that you do all add up, and those are going to move your business forward. So no matter what the incentive is right now, the 15 and 15, freaking have it be your goal to get 1,500 in sales. That's just like leaving free money on the table, leaving free gifts. So go after every incentive, every trip promotion. And right now, if you have Costa Rica on your goal, which hopefully all of you guys do, go after it, because even if you fall short, you're still striving forward. And then the last thing that I have to say, and especially with, I feel like right now with the world and inflation and just how everything is, control what you can control. So we technically can't really control how our teammates run their business, but you can control how you run your personal business. So what I mean, like right now when things are a little bit slower, you can control how many reach outs you're doing. You can control how many follow-ups you're doing. You can control how many parties you want to host and you need to host. So be in control of your business. Like right now, we can control our personal business. So if you are still doing the reaching out, you're still consistently hitting 2,500 in PV. My goal, I guess another goal, is to try to hit 3 by 2,500 as much as you can. Have it on your goal every single month, because when those incentives come out that are based around that, it's not as scary. So control what you can control. And especially right now in today's world, we have full reins on how we run our business. And that to me is just so cool, because I can't control gas prices or anything like that, but I can control freaking getting down to business and doing work and staying focused, and I can control my own. So, okay, that's all I got. Thanks.
That was so good. Yeah, you woke Monica right on up. Charmaine, you be careful with that tornado. I worry about that. So I hope
okay.
You have a basement, right?
Yeah, I'm in my basement right now. It's fine.
Yeah, this is so helpful. I mean, you guys can see why Charmaine is so successful and how she got where she is. I didn't remember I sent you a free pair of leggings.
Yes, you did. You did. And at first they like was so tight and they were bunching up my knee. Remember that? I'm like, why are they bunching up behind my knee?
I don't remember. I don't remember. Yeah, oh, yay. Well, thank you so much. And feel free to stay on as long as you want, or go or do whatever you need to do. But I'm going to unpin you. And that was super helpful. Okay, guys, let's see. Let me look at you. And Annie or Kayla or Erica, which one of you wants to go next?
I can share.
Okay. Hi, Annie.
Hi, guys. Good to see your faces.
Me too.
For those of you who don't know me, my name's Annie Shoemaker, and I live in the Chicago suburbs. I was first introduced to Zaya in 2019. At the time, I had 3 elementary age kids. My youngest was in preschool, and then I had 2 in elementary. And I had previously been a teacher. I stopped teaching when I had my kids. I was a stay-at-home mom at that point. And then I had just gotten hired at my son's preschool. I was teaching preschool a couple days a week, making like $12 an hour, but it was kind of fun, and got me back in the classroom. And at the same time, I had also started long distance running. So I started this Instagram account to document all my runs. And found out that there's like this whole, I'm sure you guys have seen on Instagram, you can find communities for anything. Well, there's a whole community of runners out there who post every single run and talk about it and support each other. And anyway, so I started connecting with people. And I connected with one girl, Amy Glenn, who was, we were both training for marathons at the same time. So we just kind of started talking about that. And then she sent me a pair of leggings, and then I took a picture and I posted on my Instagram thanking her because she sent me them for free. I thought it was really nice. And then she messaged me and said, "Oh, can I tell you about the business?" And I'm like, "Okay, I'm not interested." I didn't tell her I wasn't interested, but I was thinking I'm totally not interested. I don't know if any of you guys ever heard of Premier Jewelry, but it was around forever ago. And before I had my children, I had been a Premier Jewelry person. And so I did these home shows with all this jewelry in houses, and I loved it. And I was pretty successful. But when I had my kids, I just felt like I don't want to do direct sales anymore. I don't like viewing everybody as a potential customer. I was just so done with it. I never thought I would do it again. But she told me about this business, and I was kind of like, I told my husband, he's like, "Yeah, just buy the kit, see what happens," So I did, and then I had my launch party. I didn't really know what I was going to do with it. I just thought I would see what happened, and my friends loved it. And like, I had a couple friends that signed up right away. They're like, "I've been looking for something that I really want to do." And so all of a sudden I just started talking to my friends about it. And I had all these friends join my team right away. And we started like doing home parties together and having people over in our neighborhood. And it just became this really fun thing. And before we knew it, we had like a whole team, and and now they're all creating their own. It's just been a really fun journey. And I'm no longer at the preschool making less than you can make as a cashier at Aldi. I'm now just doing this. So I think, just thinking about like some tips, I think you kind of have to decide early on if you're going to stay in this for the long haul, because when hard things come, if you don't have the mindset that like, I'm staying in this no matter what happens, you're probably going to quit. And I think the best advice I've ever been given is just don't quit. Just, other people are going to come in and start the business, and then they're going to quit, and their customers are going to come to you. If you don't quit, if you continue to be that girl who is posting her leggings on Instagram and you don't stop doing that, people are eventually going to think of you when they're ready. So you just have to decide though, that like, you're not going to quit, so that I'm sure you guys are all experiencing what my team and I are experiencing, which is kind of a lull right now. But I just know that like, I'm not quitting. I'm going to ride this out and wait and just wait until it changes, because it will. And then the other thing is like, talk to your friends about it, because that's kind of what I did right from the beginning. And I had people that were like just jumping on board with me before I even knew what I was doing, because I just was excited about it. And I just told them, and they were like, "Oh, that sounds fun. Let's do it together." So don't be afraid to tell people, and start with telling your best friends, because chances are they're going to be interested. We have lots of people on this team who were best friends before they, ended up on this team together. So start with just sharing with your friends, and you never know who might decide they want to do this with you. And then the other thing I want to just talk about, I talk about this a lot, but you really have to find your niche, who you are, and showcase that with your stuff. Because if you're looking at what everybody else is doing and not being your authentic self, it's going to come across as, copying or just, try to be like somebody else. So find what you love and just figure out how to tie that into Zaya, and it'll feel like fun and not just work. So anyway, I hope all of you guys I hope we didn't annoy you with all our pictures. I hope you loved them, and I hope it inspired you to join us next time and work for it. Any of us would love to give you more advice and cheer you on if you're working for it. So
good, Annie. You look super pretty too, by the way.
Oh, Thank you.
You do. But I think that that, we're not all runners, but we can really take that running mentality for this business. And I think that's helped you and your team a lot too. Just to remember, like I was thinking when you were saying that just don't quit. It's like running a marathon. Like you don't have to be the fastest one. You don't have to get there. You can even walk a little bit if you need to, but you just don't quit so that you can get to that finish line. And I think that mentality is super helpful. All right, thank you. Okay, let me just go back to my view. Erica,
My internet's unstable, so I might go really quick if that's
Oh,
okay
yeah.
before I lose.
Yes,
here.
go ahead, Kayla.
It's like in and out and cutting out. Cut me
Okay.
off if it like cuts me off somewhere in here too.
Okay.
Okay. Hi
You're all
guys, I'm
set.
Kayla. I think most of you probably maybe know me from different calls or things. But I just wanted to come on here and share a little bit about my story here. So before I started Zaya, I was a dental hygienist for 10 years and I loved my job so much. But we had moved an hour away from where I was at and it was just not worth the commute to me anymore. So I had kind of quit, doing that, but then they also kind of held on to me for another 6 months and I stuck it out, but I was also, I was done. And then I found Zaya not looking for it, like right after, probably like right in the last couple of weeks that I was doing dental hygiene. So, but I just love it so much because I don't think it was anything that I was really looking for. I feel like I have, great friends and stuff, but the community of this that I have found is so much different. I've kind of found just like my circle of people and just those that are like-minded and share a lot of the same common interest as me. And it just feels different. Like you kind of find the people that you want to spend your energy and time into and they support you. And I feel like I've just had a lot of personal growth, honestly, from joining this, and just in so many ways, I really do. And there was times where I felt like I was maybe more insecure and it's brought me, the confidence and everything, and I just have so much fun with it and I really love it. So basically I joined, and it didn't take long. I joined for the discount, by the way, and it didn't take long for me to really dive into it just because I had so many people that were really interested in it. Sherry Leone and Amy Drews were so helpful for me in getting kind of started off the bat and helping me run parties and stuff because I had a lot of people interested. It was really new to this area. Nobody really knew of it. So it did really take off really fast and it was just a lot of fun. But I think that, you showing up and having positive energy and and being excited about it is really helpful too. So, and, a lot of things too is, I wanted to share with you guys that for me, I was, going to be done with dental hygiene. My first few paychecks were life-changing to me. Not everybody has to be in this to be like a rock star, to be, at the very top. Just remember that like life-changing can be a couple $100s. For me to have been, I don't even remember what my first paycheck was, but even if it was a couple $100s, that was like such a big thing for me because I had never had that, something just from running something that I was excited about and kind of my thing to earn that income with. And that was just really cool. So, but yeah, I think, like I said, my favorite thing is just finding this new community of people and just surrounding myself with them and just loving on them and feeling supported all the time. I feel with all of you guys. So, so a few things, I'm all over the place. I have all these notes, but now I'm hearing all these things and I'm excited. But I just, the biggest thing is have fun and, keep it light, remembering always like, what did you join for? I joined for the discount originally, but it didn't take me long to realize that it's fun and we all want to be a part of this and our community and we kind of come together. So when things get hard, just remember to keep it light, have fun energy, be confident in it. If you go in, and you're kind of not very, I would say not confident in it and you're not having fun energy about it, it's not going to be probably as easy for you, I think, to, sell things, I think, but I'm passionate about it. Like, I feel like people really believe that because I really do love it. I really do enjoy sharing it. I really do just love it so much that I feel like if you're sharing that with people, they're gonna feel that too and want to support you and be part of it too. So I think that's been something that's really easy for me just because this is me. People that come to me all the time and say, say to me like, holy cow, this is so fitting for you, Kayla, because this is you. And I really feel that way too. So another thing is having the belief in yourself and your team. There's going to be times where you have highs and lows, slower months, bigger months, whatever it is. Am I cutting out or am I okay on here? Because everybody's frozen on my screen. Okay. But just keeping the belief, and you have to do it sometimes when it's really hard, but you have to do it for your team. You have to, plug into others. And if you are having a hard time yourself, is to really dive into the personal development. That's been huge for me. Honestly, if I'm having just a day where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't book a party or I can't do this, is just really getting into some different podcasts and things and having it kind of pep me back up and stuff like this. Even like this is team calls to all come together and listen to others, especially Charmaine. Even just the first few things you were saying got me excited and fired up. But just, plugging into the personal development, and then consistency and showing up and being there and reaching down to your team and across to your team and everything has been really positive. So I was also in the Hawaii trip. There was so many fun takeaways from it, but I've never been on a vacation where I was so excited to be there that I think we would literally not want to leave everybody. We'd be like, okay, break, let's go to our rooms really quick, 20 minutes, get dressed, get together really, get ready really fast. And then we'll get back together, because we were so excited just to be together. And there was so many fun things to do. But that was just my fun part, is that so much I love the community as much as Josh and I would have loved time to and we did have time together too. We wanted to spend all of our time with everybody and to really have the fun with everybody and do all the things. So yeah.
That was perfect. Thank you so much. And I agree. People have asked me, what was your favorite part about Hawaii? And I just keep saying, seeing my friends. I just love being with my Zaya family. And I don't think that's the answer they're expecting, but that is really how I feel. Okay, thank you, Kayla. Erica, I just have to find you in my gallery. Are you there? I see you now.
Hello.
Hi.
Me?
Yes, I got you.
I was getting ready to tell Kayla, it's sad when you also like to hang out with the people's husbands, like they're together. I hung out with obviously Josh a lot and Annie, Justin a lot when we were in Cancun, because they went and our other husbands didn't go. So I think that's fun too, when you like to hang out with the hubs, so they don't feel left out. But yeah, so I mean, best for last. I'm sorry that you guys had to wait this long for me to talk, but 5 minutes is probably not going to be a lot. So I won't go into all that shit about who I am, because you probably already know it. But preface, I was thinking about this today because Charmaine and I obviously joined at the same time, and preface also, there is tornado activity here. So, nothing crazier than me around here, but we'll see how that runs. And, I coached college soccer, right? High school and college soccer. And so I was pretty much dating chicks all day, trying to get them to join the university. And there's nothing like it. And before that, I had to recruit for Abercrombie and Fitch. And those people are 16 and they don't have any responsibility other than to take clothes that don't belong to them. But so I've always just had this thing with getting people to work for me or with me. And I think that was really the hardest thing, is you're recruiting people, but then when they come on board, it's you not only now you have to get them to perform or work with you. So that was obviously the biggest thing that really kickstarted my business. And I will say, I know a lot of people say I joined for the discount. That's the best, because there is no pressure. There is no pressure to build this 6-figure business, or if you came from Arbonne and now you're here, there's not a whole lot of pressure, because it's fun and it's light. And for my husband, it was a lower Lululemon bill. And so that helped. And that was really going into is really what my outlook was. I did have kind of a business itch. I really did. And I do have these thoughts that hold me back a lot, though I don't portray them or put them in the universe. They're there. And I want you guys to know that that's okay, because that's normal thought, action, feel, what we talked about in our mastermind today. And, I really think that I work really hard to talk myself out of that. And I will say that I'm a betting woman. I like to gamble. And I would say I would bet on myself 10 times out of 10 times. And if I'm working the business and I'm doing the actions, my business is kick ass. Like it really is 100%. If I have 4 parties and 2 of them suck, I have 2 more parties. Like it's just like how my mind thinks. The best part about this is that I gravitate towards people who are the same, who can vocalize things that drive them crazy, but that doesn't limit them. So like now I run my business with 3 other people on this call, and we organize our teams as such. And it really is like, I hang out with people who are actionable. Like they're actionable people. They're not just saying like, oh, I want to be here or I want to do that. Like I know that they're at home working towards that, whether they have a job or not. And so I just want you to know that like when I first joined, I saw all of these girls going to Thailand. I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. Like, especially Thailand. Like, I don't know if I would have thought, oh my God, it's awesome that they're going to Mexico, but they all went to Thailand. And I remember Katie and Monica telling me like, you can do this next year, you can do this. And you really don't think like, oh, I can do this. I remember going to Mini Summit and not being able to find freaking hand sanitizer. The world was ending. And I came home thinking, how am I going to get one director? I didn't even care if I couldn't find toilet paper. And so I really had those thoughts in my head, like, this is like a unicorn. Like, where are these people coming from? But I will tell you this, is that if you're trying to build leaders, like the leaders on my team, I genuinely are either fast friends or they're my friends from life. Like I talk to them often, and that's a huge pointer for that. If I don't talk to my leaders, like I didn't talk to them for like a week because I was in Hawaii, and I came back saying like, I just want to touch base. Like, what do you need? And so I pour into my leaders a lot, and I don't care if they're at 10,000. I don't care that 3,000, like, I just really like to love on them for where they are. So if I would tell you anything about my journey and my story is I have not had like things just handed to me. I work my ass off, just like all of you guys do for things that you want in life. But there is no difference between who I am outside of my business and inside of my business. And I do really feel like the universe, let's say that, brings me the best people and sometimes the most challenging people, because he's always out there to test you. You know what I mean? So if you find yourself in a lull, like the whole company or the team is in a lull, like you have to surround yourself with people who might be on that same level with you. But just know that this company and industry goes in waves. And if you're ready to ride a wave, then you can stand up and serve. But if you're not ready and you're not working the business, and there are days where I don't do shit, I don't do anything, but I know that. And then like today, I did a lot of crap and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get something from that. I just know it. So
That's awesome.
that's it.
Did you guys, those of you that were in Hawaii, did you guys come back like refreshed and ready to go? Because I did, and I was telling my husband, and feel free to unmute and interrupt me or add to this, but I was like, it's so funny that I am energized because number one, it was an exhausting, I mean, a lot of people had jet lag and all of that, but number two, we didn't work on this trip. There were no meetings. There was no getting everybody together and let's talk business. It was literally just being together. And I just found it fascinating that just being together energized me so much. Like I had more energy Monday than I have had in a really long time. I have gotten more done in my business this week than I have in a long time. And it's just being with people that lift you up, I think. Did you guys feel that way? Yeah. Oh, everyone that I talked to about it.
I mean, listen, I'm still trying to get back on my normal sleep, so I don't think I'm quite as peppy as you, but it makes it, you just are reminded of how much you love the people and how much you want to do everything you can to continue to be with them. So yes, I would agree with you there.
That's how I feel, Annie, too. I'm not back on the whole sleep thing yet, but I am energized, just tired, energized.
Yeah, exactly.
I felt like it was being inside that volcano. I feel like there was some juju in there that like went into me and gave me this crazy energy. But you were in there too, Monica. Maybe I soaked up your juju.
Yeah, it didn't rub off on me.
I was in the front.
I was going to say, maybe because you were in the front. Yeah,
that's why.
That must be it.
That's why. But you guys, this company is just solid gold. It's made up of incredible people. We got to spend a lot of time with Aaron and Jeremiah and Zach and Brenda. I mean, all of us kind of different at different times, but I got to sit by Aaron on one of our excursions on a boat and just got to chit chat with her a little bit. And man, I'm just like, this lady is just solid gold. Like, she cares about us so much, and that is so it's just so lovely. You really feel like she wants what's best for us as reps, and I mean, all of them do. So that is just a lovely thing to be reminded of, I think. Did they share anything exciting? I don't think so. It was really not business. And I mean, we probably should have like some business kind of meeting at some point on these leadership trips, but no, we got some sneak peeks, which I'm sure you saw online. But I don't think any news. Did you guys?
I don't think so.
It was just a whole lot of goodness, and
They just had even though business is a little low right now, they still had a very positive attitude and vibe about them. We never felt like, the world was coming down. Everybody still was super positive, and and so that was helpful to be around them and feel their energy and have that, those good vibes.
yeah, I agree. Is anybody, show of hands, or you can type in the chat, who has Costa Rica on their dream board? Who's working towards that? Okay, don't be afraid to say it. Don't be afraid to say it. I caught myself doing this today. I caught myself minimizing my a goal I had by not saying it out loud. I caught myself doing that with my podcast. When somebody was talking about it, I said, "Oh, I don't do it for people to listen to." And then later I'm like, well, that's the dumbest thing I've ever, I was like, I'm afraid to put the goal out there because I'm afraid to not reach it. So don't do that here. If you don't reach your goal, but you go for it, you'll still have such a bigger business than if you didn't. So don't be afraid to fail. You can fail on a few of them, but if you're still building your business towards your ultimate goal, then you're winning. Okay.
I want to say, can I say one little thing?
I have a couple people that from my team on this call, and I just want that for them, like just like the feelings we had when we were junior reps and senior reps. And, when you get those, like, you're all in your feels, like it feels great. Like, I just want that for them, because it's great for us because we get to see all of our friends, but the experience of hitting it and going is like no other. So if you're on my team, I see a couple of you on this call, like, just keep working.
What were you going to say, Annie?
I was just going to say, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Brene Brown, but I love her. And I started re-listening to one of her books today called The Power of Vulnerability. And one of the things she said is, if you try and you fail, you are so brave for even trying. Mm-hmm. So that builds courage. So
I love that.
Yes.
All right, you guys, I loved hearing your stories again. It's one of my favorite things is to hear people's stories, where they started, where they are now. So thank you for being brave and sharing, and thank you guys for being on. I hope you guys all mark your calendar for our next team call. It's on June 6th. It's at 6:30 because we have a Canadian speaking, Sarah Bernard. Sarah Bernard is the only person in our company that's hit the 3x2500 for 20 straight months, or maybe it's 24. She's a rock star. She's a friend. She's incredible. She was on the leadership retreat, and she's just going to share her super down-to-earth tools and tips that she uses to be such a rock star recruiter. So I'm really excited about that, and I'd love to pack the call because I want to make her feel really welcome. So June 6th, first Monday of June. Mm-hmm. All right. Thanks, everybody. Keep going for that 15-15-15 situation, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.